Have you ever felt completely defeated? You try, you fight, you exhaust every last resource, and nothing changes. And at that moment, the mind makes a quiet, devastating choice. Stop trying. But what if that choice is not the truth? What if despair is not inevitable, but something your brain learns? Today, we're diving into one of the most controversial and shocking experiments in psychology, the forced swim test, often nicknamed the rats in the water experiment. We'll see the exact moment a creature gives up on life and when the astonishing counterproof where a simple intervention made rats swim not for 15 minutes but for nearly 60 hours. This is the story of despair, the science of hope, and a hidden lesson about why trust, not just grit, might be the ultimate antidote to giving up. To understand hope, you first have to understand despair. This is where the forced swim test comes in. The setup was very simple. A rat was placed in a tall, smooth-sided cylinder of water. No ledges to grab, no way out. The water was kept at a controlled temperature. Every condition was set to eliminate escape. Now picture it. The rat hits the water and trashes violently. It tries to claw on the walls, dives, twists, searches every corner. Its survival instincts are firing at full capacity. But here's the reality. Escape is impossible. And the rat eventually learned this. After a frantic struggle, its movement slow. Its claws slip down the walls, and then in a chilling moment, it stops fighting. It floats passively, making only the minimum effort needed to keep its nose above the water. This state is called behavioral despair. It's the animal's nervous system essentially saying, my effort doesn't matter. Nothing I do changes the outcome. And here's why it became famous. Antidepressant drugs were found to make rats fight longer. Companies still use the forced swim test as a model for testing antidepressants because the drugs literally push the rats to keep trying. Of course, by today's standards, this experiment is deeply unethical. It causes enormous suffering, but its influence on psychology was permanent. It showed that despair is not just sadness, it is a learned passivity, the belief that your actions are meaningless. But the story doesn't end there because decades earlier, in the 1950s, Curt Richter and John Hopkins had already uncovered something extraordinary. Richter ran a similar test with the rats. His first group swam on average about 15 minutes before giving up. This was their baseline, the point at which they surrendered to despair. Then Richter tried something new. He let a second group swim until they were on the brink of drowning. And then he reached in and rescued them. He pulled them out, dried them off, let them rest, and then he put them back in the water. And here's the mind-blowing part. These rescued rats didn't just swim for another 15 minutes. They swam for nearly 60 hours. They went from 15 minutes to 60 hours. What changed? Physically, nothing. But psychologically, everything. The rats had learned that their struggle was not endless. That survival was still possible. That rescue could come. That flicker of hope rewired their endurance. The difference was not biological, it was belief. Hope transformed their limits. So what does this mean for us humans? It means despair. It's not just about exhaustion. It's about expectations. This is the trap of learned helplessness. You try and fail until your brain stops trying altogether. It happens in everyday life. The job seeker who sends out 50 resumes with no response and simply gives up. The burned out worker who stops proposing ideas because every suggestion gets shut down. The person in debt who avoids opening bills convinced nothing they do matters. They are not lazy, they are not weak, they have been conditioned into futility. But Richard's rats shows us the antidote, learned hope. If your brain has even one memory of effort producing a result, you can endure. If you believe tomorrow can be different, you can keep swimming. So how do you apply this to your own life? By creating your own rescues and hope conditioning. Listen to your self-talk. The red flag is the word always and never. I always fail. It's always like this. It never happens. It never goes well. That's learned helplessness speaking. When you feel yourself drowning in work, stress, or despair, don't grind yourself into the ground. Step back. Take a break. Give your brain the signal that the struggle is not endless. Then return with renewed capacity. Break your goals into small, undeniable wins. Write one paragraph, do one push-up. This micro successes condition your brain to believe your effort works. That belief is the fuel for endurance. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, put it best: he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. A sense of unfinished purpose, a loved one, a mission, a vision for your future. It's the strongest hope conditioning of all. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. The rats didn't just learn about hope, they learned trust. They endured longer because they had once been saved by something bigger than themselves. That memory of rescue gave them faith that they were not alone. And this is true for us too. We last longer in life when we believe someone has our back, a mentor, a partner, a community, even faith in something greater. Hope tends to fuel us, but trusted connection sustains us. And this is the deeper lesson. Endurance is not just about willpower. It's about believing the struggle is not endless and that help in some form is possible. So despair is not the end. It's a decision the brain makes when it stops believing that your efforts matter. And that hope, even the tiniest flicker, can multiply your endurance beyond anything you thought possible. So the real danger is not exhaustion, it's hopelessness. The body can go on for days, but your mind can quit in minutes. But here's the secret: you don't need to swim alone. The memory of rescue, the presence of trust, and practice of hope can carry you through the darkest waters. Because in the end, the scariest truth is not how easily we give up, it's how much further we can go on once we believe there is a reason to keep going. If this video made you rethink how much endurance you actually have, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.